Hi, this is continuation of our tutorial for level making, and in this lesson we will continue working on level. Let's see where are we, what's added and what can be interesting. As you see in a previous video, we instantiate some scenes. For example, this vertical movable platform is instantiated. Also, we instantiated one other scene for creation of one game prop. So if you activate this let me say box, you will get some other box. Everything else in a game mechanic depends on your character, and other thing can be to make a game more interesting, for example score system or some quest system. We have score system which is shown with some scrolling text, and you have quest to solve. For example, this quest is to get or make 6 points. And we have simple score system, which is showed here. For example, if you jump over box, you get 1 point. Okay. Also, I add one other instantiated object, but with different settings, and I want to talk about this now. So we have the same instantiated object but with different settings, which means he can create one rigid body, and here is one horizontal movable platform. I think I explained in one of previous videos how to do this with static body. And we have possibilities to create more of this. There's some glitch here. More of this rigid bodies, because you can use export variable to create this. Okay, and now I will try to first explain this. So if you have one scene that is instantiate or have instance in your main scene, you can create some export variables. Here is one number. This number defines how many rigid bodies you can create. In my game, you have possibility to create one rigid body in beginning, but this is only default, and you can change it with use of this export variable. So every instantiated scene can have different variable set and can act differently because you change some variables. This process of rigid body creation is explained in both of my books, in GD script And something advanced is explained in Making Games with GD Script book. We create one rigid body here with some details, and then this rigid body can be instantiated. But here I'll explain one better method. This method is explained in Making Games with GD Script, so advanced use, but I will explain it here. If you don't have this book, doesn't matter. This is instantiation of scene. How to do this? Not so easy, but not complicated. First, you need to have some resource as loaded here as a scene. You remember this extension TSCN means extension for a scene, and this is the name of this loaded scene. And then we instantiate with this method we instantiate scene. After that we get position of this scene and set other position 75 lower. In our situation this means only that from main object here, this, as for example, this is main object, an instantiated object will be created 70 pixels down there. This means you can create it wherever you want. And after that you need to add child. What is this child? This is this instantiated scene. And these 3 or 4 lines will solve whole of this creation process. But you need to have this created as one separated scene as object. This is also explained in one of my previous videos for M.D.C game jam. And here you can use some conditional checking to see if this creation number is higher than 0, which means how many of this game props needs to be created. In default situation is 1, but as I say before, you can change it. For example, here is 3, and when you try to use it in a game, what will you have? You will have possibility to create more than one. So here is 1. I have some lag here. I will solve it about jumping. So I can again create one other and other, as you see here. All of these boxes give you 1 point if you jump over them, and if you need to create 6 points in this game, you will need to read instructions. You will need to read instructions to play it. You can play this game. 2 levels are finished. I will provide you with a link. Of course, you can play it for free, and you can leave some comment to make it better. What other thing I want to show you? Here is horizontal movable platform, but my object doesn't move in this platform. This is made purposely, but if you want to create that all of your objects move here, you need to know one simple thing. Every static body here defined, every static body, if have defined this constant linear velocity for movement, this constant linear velocity help you to move. So this is one of my tricks, but let me explain it. So you have movement with this, but this movement is only to rigid bodies. If your main character is rigid body, he will also move here. But I create a game with rigid bodies and main character is kinematic body, which means if I want my main character to move here, I will need to add some movement when my main character have collision with this body, or I can create it in some other ways. Okay. And let's again see here. We have also one other thing I want to talk in this lecture. When you have many levels, for example 3 or 6 or whatever, something on your level will be same. For example, character, you instantiating, or some props, you can put it as instance. What other thing you can put as instance? Everything what is repeated in levels. If we look on some of previous levels, let me find some simple level. Level. Do we have other levels? Okay, for example, this. I think this is functional. Okay. Now I will talk about this few parts here. So you have quest system, some line where this text is scrolling, some score, this can be sprite for a score definition here. Great, I think they are connected. Good but not good. Wait a second. Okay. And score system. This can be one part. So code for scrolling, this scrolling text, this track or whatever I can call it, and this score system with a sprite can be one simple scene, and then you can add this scene to your new level, so instantiate it here completely. How to do this? You only need to create all of this element in one scene, and then if you create it properly, you can instantiate this as every game prop. So if I want to create some scene with all of these elements, what will I do? I will get all of these elements, put them inside one node, and then I will create a separate scene from this node. If I want to create separate scene from this node, what will I do? I will click right mouse button and select this option, save branch as scene. But I don't want to do this. And now if we are on this level, let's be on this level. I will put this different. Perfection, perfection. Huh? I think this is not bad. Okay, this is okay, but this is not great. So let's do like this. This one is okay. This one can be okay, and this one can be okay. Let's see what are we do now. Okay, I simply do some settings to see. Okay, not bad, not bad. Not bad. Okay. So these elements, I can put it together and then create one scene. If I want to do this in this level, what will I do? I will start with some of nodes. So this node. This node is already seen here. As you see, this is already seen. If you add nodes here and after that save branch is seen, you will have some problems, but I will not go there. So the best thing is create new scene, put every element inside and create it together. If I have inspiration and time, not time, I always have time. If I have inspiration to create one video more, I will try to explain this process, but I think you can do it by yourself. So every element needs to be inside one scene, set it properly, and then instantiate it. If you have some variables which are changeable inside levels, put it as export variables. I think this is all for now. I wish you good day. Again, it will be very good to pre-order my book Autonomous Cars. There are some interesting things about GODOT and GD script inside. You will learn a lot of other things. I hope many of them will be useful for you. And that's all, folks. See you in next video. Bye bye.